Coach, if you would, just talk about last night's win over number 23 Mayville. Team came out, looked really good. A lot of high-pressure defense, it seemed to throw Mayville off a little bit. Just run me through your thoughts on that game.
Well, I watched 3 games of video on Mayville, and boy, they looked really good. And they had a post presence, so I thought maybe our best defense would be zone and then know where their 2 shooters are at all times, and their other wing's a driver. So we tried to talk personnel, and it didn't work. The first 5 minutes, they had scored 16 points on us. And so we switched to man-to-man, and really proud of the ladies, the way their man defense. I thought that's the key to the whole game, was the man defense, because we only allowed 43 points the next 35 minutes. And that's a team that's averaging 85 points a game. Mayville can score. And so I just thought our man defense was the key to the entire night.
Had a few big blocks in the game, but there seemed to be one that stood out, led to an 18-0 run. Peyton Herbst in the first half blocked Joelle Ertl. Just run through a little bit on that play in particular.
Well, it wasn't, that, and there was a couple other situations where we got shot clock violations. I want to say 3 of them, which was great. So, like I said, our man D, and then that run. I mean, 6 straight threes. Went from Mayville started the second half. I think we had an 11-point lead, and they cut it to 7. Looked like they were going to maybe make a little bit of a run, and then that defensive effort. I said the block shot and the 6 straight threes basically was the ball game. That that was the turning point, and from there on we just kind of coasted. But just that run, that it was incredible. It was a lot of fun, to be part of. On the bench we're all pumping our fist and that type of stuff. But I said and we try to tell our ladies that it all starts on the defensive end, and in that case it did.
Megan Clyde had a very impressive night.
Huge.
And putting up probably one of her best nights of the season on both ends of the court, offensive and defensively. How big of a factor was that, do you think, for the ladies last night?
Well, we kind of got on Megan a little bit, like, come on, now Julian's coming in there and playing hard, rebounding, blocking shots, And so, get on Megan a little bit, and I'll tell you what, Megan responded. Megan was absolutely huge. 21 points, 15 rebounds, and that's something that at times we've been lacking this year as a post presence, and Megan sure supplied that at the right time last night. And like I said, she was probably, when you talk individually, maybe a player of the game type. And like I said, it was so good to see Megan, and she was all smiles afterwards.
Talk a little bit, if you could, about the 3-point shooting last night. It wasn't just 1 or 2 players hitting them from beyond the arc. It seemed to be everybody from everywhere.
Yeah.
Haley Farsfeet, Lorna Shepard, everybody seemed to be hitting from different spots from beyond the arc.
It's nice that our fans got to see that, because I do see that in practice. There's times when we really go on runs with the shooting, but we haven't really got to display that so much, so to speak, in a game. But they shoot the ball, and I think what I like most about this team is they really share it. They might make that extra pass, like, it goes inside to the post. They'll kick it opposite wing, and from there, they're running at the opposite wing, and then they'll make that extra pass to the corner for a wide open 3. And so I think that's what I like most about our ladies, is they're not afraid to share the ball. They don't need the individual attention. They're not afraid to, as long as we score, they pump their fist, and stuff like that. So that's what I thought I liked to see the most. Or what I saw the most last night was really a lot of sharing and making that extra pass to that open person for the 3. And like I said, that's why, individually, maybe we're not, one of the better teams around. But when you take a cohesive, all 5 and put them together, the team defense, not individual defense, but as a team, helping each other out in the gaps defensively, sharing the basketball offensively, I think that we can be a pretty good team collectively as one unit.
Back-to-back wins now, going back to the one at Oglala in regular season games, 1-0 in conference. Looking forward to the Dakota State game on Saturday, coming off a win against a nationally ranked team. What are you hoping to carry over from the one against Mayville?
Well, and it probably goes even a little further back than that. I looked on the North Star website. We've won 5 in a row, because you take out that exhibition game. And it all kind of started right before New Year's. We had a nice win against Montana Western, and so I kind of started there. Now then, I thought we went into a little bit of a lull after the New Year, but now I think we're right back to where we were playing, good basketball. And the bottom line is, though, we need to put the past, as harsh as that sounds, we need to put this win behind us. and really start focusing on Dakota State because, in conference play, you don't want to lose at home. And so I think this is an absolute crucial game for us, just as big as the Mayville was. That kick-started us, but that's in the past. We need to move on and really focus on Dakota State. That's a must-win. Like I said, we got to hold serve on our home court, and you do what you can on the road, but you got to win at home in conference play.
You mentioned the January 1st turnaround, right around the new year. What's the biggest difference, in your opinion, from kind of the slower start you guys had to how the team's playing now?
Well, none of our ladies had ever played college basketball, and we took a lot of lumps early on. I mean, we were getting smoked by 30 points was a common. But, the ladies, I give them so much credit because they never got down. They just kept persevering through the tough times. We didn't get our first win until Thanksgiving. So, I mean, there's a lot of tough losses we had to endure. But you know what? Even in our losses, I could see this team getting better and better. Back into November, after a month of play, we, played the teams the second time and much more competitive the second time around. And they continue to get better and better. Like I said, the more experience they got, it's a team mostly comprised of freshmen and sophomores that are doing the bulk of the playing time. And, they're just making big strides. And, we played tough competition too. And hopefully that got us ready for conference play.
Go back to last night real quick. Peyton Herbst again with a big block, and then with a very good effort play going over the scorers table. That's really been indicative of at least the past 5 games and more so the rest of this season. But it appears that there's just an extra level of no now for the team where they don't seem to want to give it up. Is that something that you as a coaching staff?
Well, we try to, we say there should be some consistency, and effort should be one of them. That irregardless, we had a tough shooting night a week ago down at South Dakota School of Mines and stuff, but still we stayed in the game because defense and effort played really hard, and that's something that should be a given with this team, is that we always play hard. We're diving, we're trying to out-hustle them for 50-50 balls, that type of stuff. And we try to keep track of that in practice, where if you dive on the floor or if you take a charge during the practice, you get out of conditioning at the end of practice. So it's something we try to reward every night and try to teach them that this is the way we play. This is Blue Hawk basketball. So it's something that we want the fans to see, that they appreciate the hustle, because we're going to try to do that every night.
Anything else like that, Coach?
No, like I said, I just think, it's such a short conference season that it's only 5 weeks of play, so it just makes the importance of each game all the more. And we got to hold serve on our home court, so big game Saturday.
Thank you, Coach.